Okay, here's another hilarious American story in the news. This is in the Insider. They're reporting on a press release done by Amtrak, the American Passenger Train Corporation. And in this article, they show their brand new seats. Kind of look like airplane seats, don't they? But I love that vinyl. Um, uh, yeah, this isn't much of an upgrade, and this isn't really the funniest part. But yeah, this is still way behind the times as far as luxury and amenities that are in trains now around the world. And here's the funniest parts. The first part is Amtrak is investing $28 million. Come on, $28 million to overhaul all of its trains? This is a drop in the bucket. I mean, not even a drop in the bucket compared to what other countries around the world are investing in trains and in passenger transportation. And I have been on an Amtrak train, and other than them being so incredibly slow and taking a lifetime to get to anywhere, their cabins and their seats were not anything to brag about. And the last one, the traditional dining is also returning to select routes. Well, the traditional dining, I gotta tell you, I ate the food that I brought with me, even the small snacks, rather than eating their food on the train. It's worse than airplane food. So, just to give you another idea of how silly this story is and about this investment that Amtrak's making, take a look at this. Ethiopia. Ethiopia just got a new high speed rail. $4 billion investment. Now, that's Ethiopia to, and I'm going to butcher this, uh, Djibouti, uh, which is uh, it's a port city. So $4 billion total investment, and this train is up and running really, really quickly. It's already up and running. It was just a few years to get the whole thing built. And then in Indonesia, $5.5 billion for the Indonesian high speed rail uh, from one side of the island, one of the islands to the other. Those are real investments, and those are trains are awesome. So when you look at the high speed rail, these things are going 120 to 220 kilometers an hour, and actually 220 is not the highest speed anymore. It's the average speed. So when you look at the trains going 220 miles an hour, and then you look at the Amtrak trains, which the highest one they have, well, they do have one line, New York to Boston, that's higher speed. It's up to like 120. It's the minimum of a high speed rail worldwide, but that's the fastest and single train in Amtrak's uh, collection that goes that fast. All the other trains, the fastest speed is 79 miles per hour. The average speed is 60 miles an hour in the country side and 35 miles an hour in the city because there's no infrastructure for it. They all run on the freight train lines, so they have to be very careful. So this story, poor Amtrak, they say transform rail travel in America with new seats and rooms, but you're still only going 35 miles an hour in the city and 60 miles an hour in the country. They just have no possibility of actually transforming to a modern train for passengers because America won't let them. America won't build the rail system, make the investment in the infrastructure. Amtrak is doomed to be the equivalent of the old steam locomotive on the world stage. So when you see this pathetic press release of $28 million investment in new seats for the Amtrak trains, you just feel so sad for America. And it's kind of the pity laugh that you get out of reading this article. Poor Amtrak. $28 million is their big press release for the year. Poor Amtrak.